Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel. Today is another day of the 100-day project and I believe it is day 87. That means I have 2 weeks left in this project. It's going to be a little weird when I don't have to do this anymore every day. All right, so today you have already seen my video where I'm using BookPage and I am calling it a scrap timber book project, but it wasn't really. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I have a really scratchy throat, so I am coughing and I have a bit, my voice is a little off. All right, so scrap timber is difficult for me. We've had this discussion. I don't really save scraps. I am short on space. I am short on ideas on what to do with it. But I knew this was coming up, so I did kind of gather some stuff together. I am going to give it a try. This is the prompt list for Scraptember 2025, and I am going to do envelope today. When I do have scraps, when I do save scraps, this is what I do with it. I turn it into snippet rolls. And I can just take a piece off and put it on the edge of a page. If you want to see how I do that, let me know in the comments and I'd gladly do a video on that. There will probably be one coming up because I have so much stuff and now I'm just saving everything because, you know, scrap timber. So I'll probably do a snippet roll one of these days. Putting that aside. And then, oh, I have this. No, that's not going to work for what I want. So this is what I have. And I know that I can find other projects where I can use this very easily. I'm going to start with this one, and I'm just going to use, but I may need to grab the bigger butterfly piece. Let's do the bigger butterfly piece so that it is completely covered. I am going to use Mod Podge today. And then I'm going to use this one. And let me show you how I take them apart. Everybody does it a little bit different. I usually just figure out how I can grab the edges. It is never that complicated. And I got my napkins. I got these napkins from Ninny's Napkins. Purchased a bunch from there once. They're wonderful. I do browse through it every now and again, but you have to order so much, and then, you know, I never know if I have enough use for the napkins. I know there's another layer here. So usually wetting your fingers down a little bit works. And you can just pull that last layer off very easily. There we go. It's okay if it tears a little bit. We're going to tear it anyway. So I have a few pages here. Let's start by let's put some butterflies on newspaper. Why not? And I'm going to just use this strip. It is a very nice size to put right here. On the other side of this is, of course, something to do with either King George or Queen Elizabeth. And I'm going to have to find a paintbrush for my Mod Podge. Okay, I've also put something in my mouth to stop the itchy part in my throat. All right. So I know this is from the 1930s. And the reason why is that there's a big piece on a very bad time in Europe here, and it is from before the war. I can see that it is from before the war. There is no way that it is from after. I'm going to put some Mod Podge right here. And I'm just going to put a nice layer on it, you know, not crazy thick. And no, I'm not covering my glass plate. It is dirty. I need to clean it, so it's all good. I'm putting a good layer on it so that it's good and sticky. And then I'm just going to take my napkin piece and I'm laying it over top. I'm trying to line it up with the top edge, and I didn't do that very nicely. And I'm trying to get it as smooth as I can. Not always the easiest thing to do, but I will always give it a good try. And it creates something a little different. So you kind of get a different look to everything. You will be able to see through the napkin because it's a white napkin, of course, and it becomes a little bit more see-through. And then you get the color of the newspaper coming through on there. We'll zoom in a little bit more. You can see the text coming through on here. So I like that a lot. I may take a piece because I have lots here, right? I'm going to find a water brush, just a simple, doesn't have to be anything fantastic. I actually never use this one because look, it is a really, it's such a wide bristle. When I use my water brush, I usually use the skinnier ones because I like those better. But for this purpose, it will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right around the flowers that I want to use. And then I can just tear it away. Kind of like painting an outline, or kind of fuzzy cutting with water is what it is. But you don't have to be as precise as when you're fuzzy cutting with scissors. Oh, let me tell you, I was at my daughter's this whole weekend. So I was nicely ahead with videos. And then, of course, I spent the whole weekend at my daughter, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So now it's Monday evening, and I haven't filmed in 3 days or 4 days because I didn't do anything Thursday night either. So I am not ahead anymore. I am right now filming for tomorrow. So I don't like doing that. I like to have a little bit more space in between my videos. So I can put it on here just like that. let's do that. Grab some Mod Podge. And we'll put it right here. Now you can also paint underneath it and then put the Mod Podge on. I am not going to paint. I have been painting all day today. I did not, I could have recorded it because it was definitely an art and craft project, but I did not. I created little cars out of cardboard boxes. I will put a picture up to show you what I did. My granddaughter is having her 6th birthday this week, and she's watching the Lilo and Stitch movie, the new Lilo and Stitch movie, with her friends for her birthday party on Friday. And I said, oh, it would be cute if you did like a drive-in movie. And my daughter goes, well, how would you do that? So I explained that you would just take some boxes and turn them into cars. And she goes, great idea, Mom. Can you make that? So yeah, that's what happened. Isn't that how everything always happens? You come up with a great idea and then you end up actually doing it yourself. So she brought home the boxes and I did the creating. It took me all day. I only had to make 5, but it took me all day. So there we go. Like, you can see the text through it, which is a really neat idea. If you turn this into like a square, it is a beautiful journal spot. This or a pocket, you can turn it into a pocket or whatever you want to turn it into. This would make a wonderful belly band. So I'm just going to put this aside so it can dry and we'll carry on. So I think I want to do something similar with this piece of antique book page. And I think I want to use the same flowers on it. It's too big. What about the butterflies? If I take the butterflies, I can cover the whole page, right? Yes. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to waste any of the napkin, so I'm just going to go with my water brush around the page right here, and then I can just if I get enough water on here, I can just tear it right off. There. It really is the easiest way to do this, as opposed to when you are using scissors. So this I've just torn, and you can see the edges. This I've done with a water brush, and it's much more difficult to see the edges because they are kind of muddled away a little bit. Where, of course, for this, it doesn't really matter because we're going to cover the whole page. So again, I'm just going to cover the whole page in Mod Podge. Put a good layer on there. I want it to be attached. I don't want it to come off at any point. Okay. It stuck to my hand. Oh my goodness. And then I was going to go home a little earlier. So as soon as my daughter was coming home from work, I was going to take off. And so she called while she was on the road and she goes, "Are you staying for supper?" I was like, "Wasn't my plan. I kind of want to go home. I have stuff that I need to do. Um, like I work tomorrow morning." So, yeah. And she goes, "Well, my father-in-law just called and said, Dad, you better stay because he's bringing supper." Fine. I have nothing against her father-in-law. He is a nice enough guy. But that doesn't mean that I really wanted to stay. And then you're obligated to sit there for a little bit and chat. And yeah, so I wanted to be home more than an hour earlier. But it did not end up happening. There we go. Very cute. I like that. Do we want to do one more with a dictionary page? Let's do a dictionary page too. Let's grab this one again and we'll just use, we're going to use one whole one for a part of that. Let's make it a square. Why not? Right? So I'm squeezing it to get some water out of it. And then, so I'm using Mod Podge because I know I'm not going to be painting over this or doing anything over it. I'm not going to use ink. I'm not going to do anything. So it's not going to dissolve again. Mod Podge is known for, it will dry, but it also dries somewhat sticky. So I'm trying not to have that happen. This will work. Yep. But you can't go over it with mixed media. If you want to use something similar and you want to paint over it or you want to use ink on it, then you would have to use matte or gloss medium. Usually matte medium is what you would use because you can paint over it. And it doesn't get sticky again, where Mod Podge gets sticky again. This is the sealer. Once you're done with a project, you can cover it with Mod Podge and it will seal it. And you can't take it off anymore. Okay. Let's put this on here. I'm just going to let it just drop in there. I want it to be semi-straight, neat, but not overly. Wrinkles are okay. I'm not overly concerned. I think this would make a really pretty page for or pretty paper for a shabby chic journal. And I'm at a point where I have so much stuff for shabby chic and for sewing journals. So I think I want to make like a shabby chic sewing journal or a sewing journal and a shabby chic journal. I have plenty of material. There. I like that a lot. I want to see what would happen if I used the peacock on here. And the peacock is just a little piece, so it would actually make like this into a square piece of paper. And I wonder if I put this over top of the the book page, if the book page is going to show through, even though this is all colored paper. And I have a peacock journal that is on the go as well. So I think it would look very pretty in there as a pocket. Let's try it. Is it gonna hurt anything? No. Had a sore throat all weekend. Nothing more than that. Just an itchy, scratchy throat. And today it's a little bit worse than it has been the whole weekend, so just lovely. I don't know if I got it from the kids or what, or if someone at work was sick and passed it on very generously. Or if I got it because it is so cold at work all the time. Okay, so I'm going right to the bottom of the text. I want to also go right to the edge of the book page. Doesn't look like it's gonna come through an awful lot. But it will make a beautiful piece of paper. So here and there you can see the text through. So not very much, mostly just here at the bottom. So it dries pretty quick. That's the one bonus with Mod Podge. I think it dries quicker than what matte medium does. So this is almost dry. And you can see like it is almost impossible to see the paper through it. Now the bonus is, let me show you what happens, because newspaper page, of course, gives off black. And so something else you can do with Mod Podge is you can just go over top of it, and especially when it's matte, you just go over top of it and you're sealing the paint or the ink into the page, and then you can use it without losing half the ink on your fingers or anything like that. There we go. See? Most of this has been done already. All right, this is just going to have to dry, and then we can carry on to what I want to make. All right, so they're all dry, and it is sturdier. The Mod Podge makes it much sturdier now. And I have very little small papers. Lots of people have all the 6x6 paper pads. I have very few because I never really knew what to do with them. So I always preferred to get the 12x12 sheets, and then I never really wanted the whole pack. So I would always just buy the individual ones. That's what I did. And so I have 6x6s, but that's because I took 12x12s and got them down to smaller. These, on the other hand, are like, how pretty are they right now? So what I would like to do, this one is going to be a belly band. And so all I'm going to do is fold this down like this, and I have a beautiful butterfly belly band. That's all I'm going to do to it. I may sew around it, but it has made the newspaper much sturdier, and this is a very sturdy paper now to use for, sorry, this is a much sturdier paper now to use for a belly band. So I will probably sew around it and everything, but that's what I would do with it. Other than that, I'm going to turn these into envelopes. This is the piece of paper where all I did was I put the Mod Podge over top of it. So it is now, instead of a very brittle piece of old newspaper, it is now a sturdy page that we can use. So I'm going to turn it into envelopes. And all I do when I am making envelopes is I fold this in on the diagonal, and I make a little mark right in the center. And then I do it again on the other side, make a little mark. And I'm kind of trying to figure out which side I want to have as my down and which side I want as my sides. So then I just fold these both to the center. Fold this up. There we go. It's not very even. Why is it not so even? It should. That's better. And then I'm just going to fold this in. I don't want to use scissors on this too much because I am afraid that it's going to take the sturdiness of the paper away. There. And then this will fold right over here. Just like that. And we have a beautiful little envelope from an old newspaper. Let me just cut. I do want to cut the little corners out, of course. And I believe that my scissors are still in my bag. So just in case you think I didn't do anything over the weekend, I did. I just did a lot of fussy cutting. I decided that I needed some more labels in a smaller size. And I decided to get some butterflies and more perfume bottles and stuff like that all printed off there. I didn't fussy cut all of it, but I got a good head start on a lot of labels. So that's always wonderful when you have time to do that. And I just really haven't had time to do a lot in the last, it's been 3 months now, just about 3 months. How pretty is that? All right. I have a new glue that I want to use. I need my hole punching thingy. So I'll show you how I get my glue ready. So I have this tool. This is by Tonic Studios and Tim Holtz. And all I do is I just, go in the center. And I poke a hole. That's what I do. I don't want a huge hole, so. And this is a new glue. It is Fast Grab Tacky Glue. I saw it and I was like, I Gotta try that, see if it works. See what I can do with it. Of course, this bottle is huge. And I'll just use a little bit. Oh, that was good. So I put a little bit of glue right here on the edge of the envelope, right there, and then a little bit right here on this edge as well. And I'm not using a lot. And then I'm closing it up. So then, yeah, that's fast grab. So I wonder if that's the same idea as the Barely Art or the, what's the other glue that everybody is using? I just find it so expensive. And truly, it is glue. All right, so I have one little envelope. So I'm going to do the same with the next one. They're all perfect squares. There, just find the center. And it doesn't overly matter which direction you're going in. I try to line the two sides up together, and then I try to line this up with the center line, just like that. I'll fold this over. So this goes again to that line, to that diagonal line. I'm just going to, oh no, I have to cut the corners, or the inside corners off first. Here we go. I'm opening this back up, and I'm cutting just those little triangles out so that it's not so bulky. There. So I'm going to try and do most of the prompts for September. I don't know if I will do them all. I feel that it's very much like the July Junk Journal Challenge, and we know how well I did with that. I did it, but it was a struggle. So that's why I'm not sure if I am going to be able to do it, but I will give it a shot. And maybe I'll just do like a few of the prompts, or who knows, right? Most of the time, like right now, I am making ephemera because I need so much stuff for the journals that I'm working on that I need all the ephemera in the world. So having some prompts would be kind of nice. How pretty is that? It's got very faint flowers on here. Very pretty. So that's 2 out of the newspaper. Then I have the peacock. I want to know what I want to do with a peacock. Do I want to turn it into an envelope? Like if I use this as an envelope. I'm going to either get this as envelope, part of it, and then the sides. Let's try it. Is it gonna hurt? No, I have a few more. Oh, it's not very square, is it? Oh, I can fix that. I thought I had perfectly square, and then of course once you start folding it's like, no, not that much. All right, I'll fold it this way. This side is, is this square? No, of course not. It is now. There. All right. So I think these I want to use as the sides. There. And then this goes up as the bottom, which is, it's very pretty. Fold this down like that. A little bit less. That's better. Well, I don't mind it. Am I crazy about it? Not really. But it works. You know what? I'm gonna go like this, I think. And then, so then the head is going up at least, as opposed to going down. That's much better. And then we'll cut this off to the largest size. Ooh. We'll cut the corners off. I like that it has a really pretty inside now, like it has the book page as the inside. Normally when I am making envelopes, they're white on the inside. So this is kind of a neat way to make a very pretty book page envelope. There. I do really like it. There's nothing, I have nothing against this. Like, I love the colors. It will look so pretty in my peacock journal. So my plan is for the last week or the last few days of the 100-day project, I want to go through all the journals that I have put together. A lot of it I've done like little bits and pieces, and I've referenced them, and or I've done the cover, but I want to do a run through of all the journals that I have created over the last 100 days. And of course there's one set that I can't use because I sold it. There, very pretty. And you go up and there's the peacock head and the feathers are on the back. I like it. So this is the dictionary page, and it's also like, it's more substantial. This dictionary page is so thin, which makes it very difficult to use for anything. So now I have a way to use it a little bit more substantial. I think I am going to actually use some of the whites of the napkins and just put that over the newspaper and stuff and the dictionary pages, so that I have some substantial pages that I can use, because you can see the text through it, which is what I want. But most of the time this paper is so brittle and so thin that it is hard to use as anything. But with the napkin on it, it makes the world of difference. There we go. And you know what? I have no idea what prompts. This is still, I guess it can go for flower. It can go for envelope. Let's go for envelope. Let's say that I have just used the envelope prompt. It is really, really cool. I really apologize for my cough. I will try and edit it out as much as I can. But I also don't want you to lose anything in the explanation, and a lot of it, like, I'm just continuing on. And I'm coughing over top of what I'm doing, so it's annoying, but what can you do, right? I think it is from the air conditioning at work. It is so high and it is so cold there all the time, and then you go outside and it's warm. So yeah, I think that's what's gotten me sick. And I'm not very happy about that, but what can I do? Other than I will say something. Well, I have said something many times already. Yeah, make sure that you're putting the glue on the outside of the inside flap and on the inside of the outside flap. Does that make sense? There, that's so pretty. I'm very excited about this. Okay, this one, I am going to do this in like one of the simple envelopes where you fold this up, you fold this down, and I have an envelope and it says contents, which is kind of cool. So I want to fold it to just above the contents piece. No, I want to go a little bit lower here. Right there. That's better. You got to be able to get into the envelope too, right? Oh, that is so cute. And I'm just putting a little glue right here on the edge. Right there. And a little bit right here. And then I'm closing it up. And I have an envelope, a super simple little envelope. I'm going to take the corner rounder and I'm going to go around these corners. And no, I am not cutting any of these little edges off. I want them to stay like that. there. Okay, so I need something to decorate them now. I don't know if I don't know what journals they're going to go into. So I'm not sure if I want to decorate them now or if I want to do that later. I think I am going to do that later. I think I am going to, do you know, have you ever watched the Shabby Dabby Doodah videos on 7 and 10, where she does, she decorates 10 items in 10 items a day in 7 days. So 70 items in 10 days. Yeah. And or no, 10 items in 7 days. So 70 items in 7 days. And I think that's what I am going to do. So I have a whole pile of these envelopes. And look, they're all different sizes too. Like this would make a really cute little set, just like that. How cute is that? So there we go. That was my project for today. I went with envelope. I want to see what you're going to make with this collaboration between all of us and Crafty by Toni and Margreth from Seven Plaza. Show me what you're going to make. This was my project. I hope you enjoyed watching it and maybe you're taking something away from it. Let me know in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow.